Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the head of state presided the work of the Council of Ministers. The launch of the National Week of Action, Social Actions in Ali Addi. That national scene, the World Health Organization arms the Council in the gestions of vaccine concerning the COVID-19. Welcome to our newsroom. Under the chairmanship of His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, President of the Republic, Head of Government, the second session of the Council of Ministers took place on Tuesday, January 19, 2021. At the beginning of the session, the Minister of Interior made a statement to the Council of Ministers on the bloody attack on 14 January 2021 perpetrated by the assailant against the Gendarmerie Brigade of the city of Tajarrah. And he stated that an investigation has been launched to shed light on this criminal act and that all means are being taken to bring these individuals to justice to answer for their actions. Listen to the spokesman of the government, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf.
La présidence du chef de l'État, son Excellence M. Ismail Omar Guelleh, s'est tenue la deuxième séance du Conseil des ministres en ce mardi 19 janvier 2021.
Ministry of Labor in charge of administration reform. Second question. Draft law on the new General Statute of Civil Servants. The General Statute of Civil Servants in our country results mainly from the Law No. 48 of June 26, 1983. Since its adoption, it has not undergone any significant evolution. Indeed, some provisions on the one hand do not take into account changes in the law and international commitments of our country. On the other hand, socio-economic transformations. With this in mind, it was requested that the conditions for renovating the General Statute of Civil Servants be examined, taking care not only to preserve acquired rights but also to develop new rights that would make a competent civil service more attractive, responsible, and fully at the service of our fellow citizens. This bill is fundamentally based on the reaffirmation of the intangible principles and requirements that condition the effectiveness of the action of civil servants and make the unity of the public service. In addition to the concern for clarity and consistency of the rules affirmed by the General Statute, the main contributions of the revision of the text lie in the modernization and extension of the individual and collective rights of civil servants, the accountability of civil servants and their heritage, and the establishment of rights and procedures that promote the activation and performance of our civil service system. The bill aims to promote a Djiboutian civil service that is able to effectively meet the expectations of our citizens and contribute fully to the development of our country. This bill aims to modernize the legal framework of the civil service and to respond to the changes brought about by the economic and social development of our country. Ministry of Higher Education and Research. Third question. Draft order granting accreditation of a baccalaureate degree course in Computer Science and Information Technology at the Training and Development Center.
Please follow the second part of the Council of Ministers with the government spokesman, Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf.
La quatrième question est relative à un projet d'arrêté accordant l'accréditation d'une formation de licence en énergie électrique.
Fourth question. Draft order granting the accreditation of a baccalaureate degree course in electrical energy of the Training and Development Center. Fifth question. Draft order granting the accreditation of a baccalaureate degree course in industrial electronics and automation at the Training and Development Center. The Minister of Higher Education and Research presented three texts. The first project aims at granting the Training and Development Center the accreditation of a baccalaureate degree course in Computer Science and Information Technology. The second project relates to the accreditation of a professional baccalaureate degree course in electrical energy. And the third project aims to accredit a baccalaureate degree course in industrial electronics and autonomy. In accordance with the Article 7 of Decree number 2020/011 of 19 January 2020, these accreditations are granted for a period of 3 years. The adoption of these projects will enable the Training and Development Center to increase the range of training courses offered by this establishment. Ministry of Budget, sixth question. Draft order on the allocation of a plot of land for the benefit of the company, Sojid. The purpose of the draft order is to allocate a plot of land with a surface area of 7.1 hectares located in the South Balbala area for the benefit of the Sojid company. The said vehicle is intended for the establishment of a real estate project.
Message of congratulations from the President of the Republic to his counterpart re-elected from Uganda. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, sent a congratulatory message yesterday Monday to his re-elected Ugandan counterpart, Mr. Yoweri Museveni. In his congratulatory telegram, President Guelleh wished success to Mr. Museveni. He then described the re-election of the Ugandan president in the first round as an indisputable guarantee of majority support of Ugandan citizens around the political leadership in place in their country. There is no doubt that the renewed confidence you have just enjoyed will serve as a new dynamic in your unwavering quest to lead your country and your people toward greater progress, development, and prosperity. President Guelleh wrote, under your enlightened leadership, Uganda, like the Republic of Djibouti, is contributing to the efforts to pacify and stabilize the region, which are essential for achieving lasting economic integration in this part of the world. He also welcomed Mr. Yoweri Museveni was declared the winner of the recent Ugandan presidential elections with a score of 58% of the vote cast. The President of the National Assembly, His Excellency Mohamed Ali Mohamed, received in audience on Tuesday, January 19, the President of the Court of Auditor, Ms. Ismahan Mahmoud Ibrahim, who handed him the General Public Report of the year 2020. The meeting took place in the presence of the Chief Staff of the President of the National Assembly, Mr. Idris Mohamed Ahmed, on the Court of Auditor side. In addition, the first President of the Court of Auditor, Ms. Ismahan Mahmoud Ibrahim, the Magistrate of the Court, Ilhan Hussein Waberi, and Hassan Jibril Usman, who took part in the meeting. This handover is part of the institutional relationship between the two institutions and meets a legal requirement incumbent on the Court of Audit to transmit its annual general report to the national representation. Then the President of the National Assembly, Mohamed Ali Mohamed, received this Tuesday, January, the President of the National Commission for Human Rights, Mr. Saliban Omar Udin, accompanied by its Secretary General. This meeting focuses on the analysis of rights relating to civil and political rights, economic, social, cultural rights, and categorical rights known as solidarity rights. This visit is part of the presentation of the CND-2020 annual report to the President of the National Assembly. During the meeting, Mr. Saliban officially presented to the President of the Assembly his activity report for the year 2020. For him, this approach is the fulfillment of a legal tradition. Indeed, in accordance with the law governing it, the Council is required to produce an annual report on all the activities carried out, as well as the state of human rights in the countries, and this over a defined period. The National Social Action Week 2021, whose theme is for a more resilient population, was launched in Ali Adde in the Ali Sabih region. A strong ministerial delegation composed of the Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity, Ms. Muna Usman Aden, the Minister of Interior, Mumin Ahmed Sheikh, the Secretary of State for Decentralization, Hamadu Muhammad Aramis, parliamentarian of the region, the Prefect and the President of the Regional Council, the Executive Secretary of ONAHS, the Secretary General of UNFD went to the village of Ali Adde to take part in the launching of the activity. On their arrival, the strong government delegation were warmly welcomed by the host community and refugees. The 2021 session of the Social Action Week, co-organized with the State Secretariat for Decentralization, wanted to make a mark for population and rural development. The Minister of Interior and Secretary of State in charge of decentralization expressed their warmest thanks and underlined the impact and the weight of synergy of efforts of several ministries in order to better coordinate. This is a step towards bringing services closer to the most remote populations. The authority of Ali Sabih region and parliamentarian of the region participate in the launch of the National Week of Social Action yesterday in Ali Sabih following a request for a vehicle address to the President of the Republic. The chairman of Ali Sabih Council, Umar Ahmed Wais, promised to pay for the purchase of the vehicle through the budget of Ali Sabih Council. A parliamentarian announced that the success we admire today is the consequences of the mobilization and dynamism of the youth. For the Minister of Decentralization, Mr. Hamadou Mohamed Aramis said the launch of the National Week of Social Action launched yesterday in Ali Ade is intended to put the spotlight on all the social actions carried out through the territory. The launch of the week, which shows the fruits of partnership and collaboration between the Department of Social Affairs and Decentralization. The Minister of Interior, Mumin Ahmed Sheikh, stressed in his speech the paramount importance of the National Week of Social Action, noting that it reflects above all the values of solidarity, synergy, coherence, for which the Djiboutian people are famous. He recalled that the activities of this week are in line with the directives issued by the President of the Republic, who has made social solidarity one of the most important pillars of the public policy in Djibouti. In her speech at the ceremony, the Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity, Mona Osman Aden, recalled the essence of the social protection policy, which her department manages a protection that is inclusive and leaves to no one by the wayside. A directive to the head of state. From the head of state, there was also a day to encourage women and young people, the weakest section of the population, especially during the difficult period of the COVID pandemic, in their effort to integrate into the economic life by creating income-generating activities. These target population have received a startup fund for their businesses, and the opening of the CPEC branch is part of a financial support perspective and an exit strategy for the project. The ceremony continued with guided tours of some of the achievement and the development response to displacement related the impact in the Horn of Africa project, a project executed by IDDS, funded by the World Bank. The new UNFT premises and CPEC branch offices were also inaugurated. On this occasion, more than 4,000 improved fair places were handed over to the village community. In addition, the women expressed their gratitude for the capacity buildings they received, women who create value and invaluable wealth. In addition, some activities are planned on Hol Hol, where 500 homes, including Daspio, and Obok, where 200 vulnerable families will benefit from the installations of the connection of electricity will be electrified. The ambassador of Djibouti to Qatar, Tayyip Dubbad Roble, met today with the Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the State of Qatar, Dr. Ahmed Hassan Al-Hammadi. During this meeting, the two parties discussed at length ways and means to strengthen cooperation relations between the two brotherly and friendly countries. In his address, the Secretary General of the Foreign Affairs Ministry welcomed the re-establishment of diplomatic relations between the two countries at the highest level and worked to further consolidate these relations. The mayor of the city of Djibouti, Fatuma Awali Osman, received yesterday a strong Ethiopian delegation led by the Minister of Agriculture of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Mr. Omar Hussein Ali. This courtesy visit was also attended by the Ambassador of the Federal Republic of Ethiopia, Mr. Birhanus Gaye, and the Secretary General of the Town Hall, Mr. Mahmoud Boghore Abdullahi. Discussion is mainly focused on the development of green spaces and the launching of the tree planting program in all the districts and housing states of Djibouti city. It should be noted the Ministry of Agriculture, Water, Fisheries and Resources of Djibouti, the mayor of city, will work closely together on this tree planting program. In this respect, the two parties agreed on the modality for the delivery of the plants offered by Ethiopia to the city of Djibouti. The holding of a technical meeting between the Secretary of State for Decentralization and the local authorities of Djibouti city in the framework of continuations of the dynamic initiated together, putting forward a permanent dialogue following the working meeting between the decentralization and executive of the city of Djibouti authorities held on 10 January in the premises of the ministries, and as agreed on this occasion to hold a quick technical meeting with each community. A team from the decentralization department went successively Sunday 17 and Monday 18 January in the municipality of Balbala, where it was led by the Secretary General Mohammed Isa Faraj, and in those of Bulaus and Rastika, the Director of Decentralization and Deconcentration, Mr. Yusuf Abdallah. At each stage, the agenda focused on the deepening of exchanges on the 2021 programs, the year's program, the continuations of reflection on the extensions of budgetary decentralization and local taxations to the municipalities of Djibouti city, and the steps to be taken to make them effective, which obviously involves setting up a schedule with the Ministry of Budget with a view to holding consultations to move these components forward, and finally the presentations of the decentralization and public governance support program ProGouv, financed by the French Development Agency. As part of the rejuvenationist policy, the Djiboutian armed forces have carried out targeted recruitment of young men and women from the civilian population. This profile was specialists in all disciplines, ranging from medical assistants to computer engineers and lawyers. After the physical sports tests attesting to the young people, the successful candidates were called for medical examinations to authenticate their state of health. There is no doubt that a physically and mentally fit soldier will make a greater and more effective contribution to the defense and development of his country. It is in this state of mind that the young candidates were gathered early this morning of Monday at the parade grounds behind the Sheikh Osman camp. After the call and identifications of the persons on the presentation of this national identity card, these young people were grouped into the 20 at each workshop while being supervised by the staff of the EDF sports offices. The selection of the workshop was well defined. Once the identification had been made, the candidates would undergo a blood test for biological examinations, a e-test, blood pressures. To this end, for better performance, the Defense and Security Forces, National Gendarmerie, and National Police work together in perfect symbiosis. As part of the festivity and activity commemorating the 20th anniversaries of University of Djibouti, the professor and the students of the university carried out a health test for health disease, diabetes, and e-visit to the university. On this occasion, a tent was erected at the University of Djibouti, which brings together the various specialists and senior health technicians who specialize in cardiology, diabetes, and ophthalmology. The purpose of this health visit is to take good care of students' health so that they can study in complete tranquility and without any fuss. The professors and students are delighted with this initiative taken by the authorities of University of Djibouti, which will enable all participants to improve their health and remedy any complications so that they can continue their university studies. Also, as part of the festivity and activity commemorating the 20th anniversary of University of Djibouti, the former students of the Faculty Law and Economic and Management, known as FDEG, who are currently executive in public administration, visit the students who are in the Faculty of Law and Economic and Management at the University of Djibouti to explain the different employment opportunities that are available and much needed. These former students are currently inspector and lawyer in the public administrations and work in the service of the nation and the welfare of their fellow citizens. They explained the responsibility they will face in the future. The ceremony was attended by the Dean of the Faculty of Law and Economics and Management. The students of the university are delighted to welcome the elders of their faculty, and they specified it is an honor for them to show them what the future will look like. For the international scene, the World Health Organization is raising the tone of COVID-19 vaccine management. The head of the World Health Organization, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, warned on Monday that the world would face a catastrophic moral failure if rich countries monopolize the vaccines at the expense of poor countries. Have to be frank, the world is on the brink of a catastrophic moral failures, and the prices of that failure will be paid in lives and livelihood in the world's poorest countries. The WHO Director General said in a speech that at the opening of the meeting of Organization Executive Board in Geneva, Switzerland, he castigated the selfish attitude of rich countries. He also sharply criticized vaccine manufacturers for seeking regulatory approval in rich states rather than submitting their data to the WHO to get a global green light for vaccine use. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.